Hello everyone, Brady here from Almost Pro Gaming, and I'm giving you the interviews you guys want with the top 3 people from the event, from the Basement Collective GT. And I'm here with Devin, who placed 3rd overall, and he was playing Inari, correct?
That's correct.
Alright, so yeah, I just got a few questions for you if you don't mind, and the first one is going to be, why Inari?
Well, it's mostly Eldar. It's still, in my opinion, the best book in the game.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. It's pretty damn good.
It's a really good book. So I decided to try and make the most out of the Soul Burst mechanic. So I took two big squads of Shining Spears because they shoot very well and they fight exceptionally well as well.
Yeah.
And they didn't get nerfed in the FAQ, thankfully.
Yep. Well, they kind of got indirect nerfs with like that one spell, Word of the Phoenix going up.
Word of the Phoenix went up to.
Also, they can't drop in and then move again.
It's like small things like that, but a lot of other things that they were worried about before also got hit hard.
Yeah.
But
again, those were indirect nerfs.
Indirect nerfs. Also, I can still just move 32 inches up the table.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, so I can like shoot twice, fight twice, move a ton depending on the situation. They're a very versatile unit. They're very durable. So there's that, and then the rest of the army is basically just a bunch of characters and guardians and wave serpents and rangers just to do objective stuff.
Did you bring any Dark Eldar? And if you did, I'm assuming it's Blackheart.
No Dark Eldar.
No Dark Eldar? You didn't use no Agents of Ect?
I'm thinking about adding it, but I'd have to give up a Spirit Seer and Vectored Engines and all the wave serpents, and it ups my army's drops by 2, and I don't like Vect is good, but
it can sometimes win you some matchups.
It can sometimes win me games, but I also I know most of the stratagems that are going to give me trouble, and I can usually play around them fine.
Okay.
So it's something I'm thinking about, but I'm not like completely sold on it yet.
Okay, so what were, if you can remember them all, what were the matchups you played against?
Round 1 was Black Templars, it was 2 squads of Assault Terminators and a pair of Land Raider Crusaders, a Knight, and what the hell else was there? Just some like Marines and stuff.
So not that great of a list.
It was just, he's been playing the game for like 6 months. It's his first tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, he was a really cool dude, but it was just like very inexperienced player versus a more experienced player, and it just happens sometimes. There's not much you can do about it.
So what were the other matchups you had?
Game 2 was against Will Paul. He's a guy from Ottawa. He's a very good player. He was playing Cult Mechanicus.
Okay.
I went first and charged all his robots turn 1.
That'll do it.
And that was that. Like, the game was over on turn 2.
Sounds like it. And then what about 3, 4, and 5?
3 was Neil Walker. He's one of the Beef and Wing guys from Buffalo. He helps run the Beef and Wing Brawl. It's a big GT down in Buffalo, New York. It's actually next weekend, June 10th, 11th.
Okay.
He was playing Gilliman Devastator Gunline.
Oh, okay.
The table actually screwed him really hard. It was the one with this giant cathedral in the middle.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, so I just pushed Shining Spears in the middle.
I got pictures of it. I'll put it in the video.
He couldn't shoot me, and then I just jumped him, and that's that.
Yeah, that would ruin a gunline army that wants to stay stationary and shoot.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, it was not a good table for him.
Then your 4th game?
4th game was against Davis. I can't remember his last name. He was playing Magnus Mortarion and a bunch of other chaos stuff. That one I was kind of worried about going into it because the twins they're just such a pain in the ass to kill.
Yeah. Well, did you bring Doom and Jinx on some of your guys?
I sure did.
Yeah, but it's still hard because Magnus gets the +2 to deny and everything.
There's the +2 to deny on Magnus. He's -1 to be hit. He has a 3-up invul, and then Mortarion's just.
Well, that's if he goes first.
Which he did.
Oh, there you go.
He seized on me. I had 2 people seize on me this weekend.
Wow.
That's always.
Yeah, I heard there was a bunch of seizing that was happening.
There's a lot of seizing going on.
I know I seized in my final game, thankfully.
Yeah, so he seized on me, and I'm like, well, I was just going to kill Magnus turn 1, but that's not happening anymore. So I had to play like a lot more cagey and.
So how'd you end up winning that matchup?
I baited him. So I left a nice place for Mortarion to land with a warp time, and put all my characters there, and basically was like, come charge me. So he did. He almost killed your brain, killed 4 Shining Spears, and then my army just turned and killed him.
Yeah.
And then there's Mortarion gone.
Yeah, you put him in your kill box and just everything.
And just everything just kills him.
Yeah.
Magnus is a lot easier for me to deal with because I can just charge him with 10 Guardians each turn. It's like, okay, charge 10 Guardians, kill 6 of them. I don't lose my squad to morale. You can't charge next turn. They die, just repeat. Just more time. Just
rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Like I can do that 3 times. Yeah, so that was that, and I just avoided Magnus for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that works. And then your fifth matchup,
Was against Ridvin, the guy who won best overall.
which is Scary, for those that don't know, from Scarcast.
Yep. He's an excellent player.
Oh, I played against him once back in a local event, and he taught me a lot. And big part of my list was by the advice that he gave me. So I'm actually really grateful for him for giving me that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done so well at this tournament either.
He's a really cool dude.
He's been playing for like 20 years
He's
or
been playing
something.
for a long,
Yeah, it's a
long
very
time.
long time.
He's a friend of mine. So it's always nice when you get into this final game, tournament's riding on it, and you play against a friend. You're like, well, this is a big game, but you're also a friend of mine. Like, you're not going to try and screw me over or anything like that. So
And from what I saw too, it was an extremely close game.
it was extremely close, extremely competitive, but also pretty laid back.
And from what I saw too, apparently there was a way that you could have won it, but you did something like I remember you saying you should have like done something and then soul burst away or something like that.
So he seized on me.
Yep.
That was the second time I got seized on.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Which sucked. And I made one error, unfortunately.
That's all it takes, man.
So he had 3 Ravagers with triple disintegrator cannons, deep strike in his deployments on turn 1, and then just start shooting Shining Spears. And they're really good at killing Shining Spears because they're 2 damage.
Yeah. Yep.
So I threw the Unhurt Squad up with Quicken, threw the Archon, or not the Archon, the Autarch up as well. And what I should have done in hindsight is kept the Autarch back, used Yvrain to cast reroll ones on that squad, put all the psychic buffs on them, throw them up with Quicken, kill one of the Ravagers with shooting, charge the other 2 and kill them in combat, and then Soul Burst to just go back to my deployment zone. Because I can just move 22 inches back.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, they move far.
And then basically been like, come at me. Instead, I left them there. I killed the 3 Ravagers and the Raider that had some witches in it, and then he just turned on the spears and killed them.
Makes sense. All right, so I only got a couple more questions for you. So first one, your list. Did you try to tailor it at all strictly for ITC? And if so, what did you do, and what was your thought process with it?
It's pretty much tailored for ITC. I made the list very hard to get secondaries off of.
Yeah,
So
which is something you should do in or in ITC.
So you can get you can get Headhunter full off of me because I have 6 characters. There's not much you can really do to avoid that, especially if you're Aldarks. You need the Psychers, you need the buffs.
I agree.
But what I try and do is I take 3 Wave Serpents and 3 squads of 10 Guardians, so that I can be like, okay, you can take Old School, you can take Reaper.
But you're only getting 3
You're
points.
only getting 3 points, and killing Wave Serpents is a massive pain in the ass.
Yep.
'Cause they're so good.
Yeah, I played against a couple in my game 3. They were pretty damn good.
Most people don't take the bait. They go for like, I'll take Recon or Old School, and then I'm like, okay, cool. I just need to kill these guys in the table quarters, deny you first strike. Yeah, so it's there to make getting secondaries hard. I'm also planning on bringing either that exact list, or I might tweak it a little bit.
Well, that was my follow-up question. Are you going to change your list for future events?
Not as of right now, mostly just due to time, because Beef and Wing, the next major is next weekend.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't have to-
So it'll be hard to practice with some new stuff and
Yeah.
get everything. Yeah.
I'm happy with how the Army did, so I'm content to leave it for now. Going into the 2 big GTs in the summer, which is Tabletop Gaming Expo and Capital City Bloodbath, maybe, and then for Nova, which is Labor Day weekend, that's one of the biggest tournaments in North America. It's in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to go down there with Eldar, probably that army, or something very close to it.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll see.
You're not adding any Dark Elder?
Not right now.
Agents of Act is so good.
It is really good.
It's so good. They won me a bunch of games today.
But I like having Shining Spears that are +1 to hit in combat.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
Because there's a stratagem you can use to make them, any 6 to hit you roll is an extra attack. Now you're doing it on 5s, rerolling 1s. You just charge something and delete it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then I would lose that Spirits here. My army would go up from 10 drops to 12, which means I'm not getting the +1 as often.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sold on it.
Okay. So with that, is there any shout-outs or anything you want to give?
Just tournament shoutouts. Beef and Wing next weekend, which is June 10th and 11th in Buffalo, New York. Tabletop Gaming Expo is July 13th or something in Toronto.
Okay.
Capital City Bloodbath in Ottawa. That's August 17th, 18th. Go to those events. They're run by great people. They're excellent events. you'll have tons of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for you guys listening, I believe there's still spots open, right?
CCBB is sold out.
Okay.
At 100 people. Now they did say today
they might add more spots if enough people sign up.
If they get enough interest, they will add more spots. I was talking to one of the guys who runs it today, so they will do that. They can go up to 120.
Okay.
It is in Ottawa. The venue is amazing. It's basically a convention hall. They have professionally catered lunches. There's tons of space around the tables. Like there's no bumping into people. It's like you have a table. There's like 10 feet between you and the next table.
So there's no butt bumping like there was today?
Not like today, but then again, this is a much smaller venue.
Yeah. It was still nice though, I liked it.
It was run, considering it's their first big event, they did an excellent job running it.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend this event to anybody.
Yep. Well, they're doing it again next year. So, but anyways, that's going to cover it for the interview. Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Congratulations on your win. Well, 3rd place. Still pretty damn good.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yep.
Congrats to you on 2nd.
Oh, that was a spoiler.
He got 2nd place.
All right, well, yeah, thanks again.
So
welcome to another Almost Pro Gaming interview with the person that won the event from the Basement Collective GT, and that is Mr. Scary from Scarredcast, for those that don't know. And he won best overall, including having the best win rate. So anyways, let's get to the actual interview.
Yeah.
So you already said you're playing Drukhari?
I was, yes.
Did you use any allies or anything like that?
It's straight Drukhari. Three detachments of Drukhari.
Catalites, Witch Cults, Covens?
My army was 3 detachments. The first detachment was a Cabal of the Black Heart detachment. Okay. So a couple of Archons. My Warlord was in there. 3 units of 5 Cabalite Warriors with blasters. 3 triple disintegrator Ravagers, and 2 Raiders with disintegrator cannons.
Okay.
Then I had a Coven Spearhead. That was 1 Homunculus with a Splinter Pistol. That's an index choice because we're playing ITC. You can still
which allows index.
And just because it keeps them cheaper. Yeah. And then I had 2 units of 2 Talos, each with a Chain Flail and a Macro Scalpel. And I had 1 of the Talos had 2 Haywire Blasters, and 1 had a Stinger Pod. So that's 2 units of those. And then the 3rd heavy support choice was a Kronos with a Spirit Probe, and that was it. And then I had a Witch Cult of Strife battalion.
Which seems to be the most popular.
No, Red Grief is more popular than Cult of Strife.
In my top 10 videos, the research I've been doing, it looks like the one that I just said was the more popular one.
Okay, the Cult of Strife.
Yeah.
You know, Lilith Hesprax's Cult of Strife, she is really good. You see her pop up. She was fantastic in every game I played. Almost guaranteed me Headhunter pretty much every game. But I had an Archite Glaive Succubus, just dirt cheap. I had Lilith Hesprax. I had 3 units of 5 Witches, just stock standard, no upgrades whatsoever. And then I had a Forge World Tantalus.
Oh yeah, I was surprised when I saw that, because personally I don't think I would take it, but I'm more of a spread your eggs in multiple baskets type guy, and I think that's too many eggs in one basket. That's just a personal preference, so obviously it worked for you. So
well, yes, it does. It counts as 2 Tantaluses when you shoot twice with it.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming it's Blackheart too, so you give it no
Cult of Strife.
Why'd you leave it in Cult of Strife?
Shoot twice stratagem.
Oh,
as soon as it kills something, it's to shoot again for 3 CPs. Okay. So in earnest, it was like adding 3 more Ravagers to my list with 1 choice.
Yeah, I never actually thought about that, because to be honest, I don't like Covens or Cults. That's just me, it's just a personal preference. I love Cabalites.
Cabalites are great. There's nothing wrong with them.
So as dumb as it's going to sound, I honestly never thought of any other combinations. I just kind of swept over that part of the book.
A lot of people would look at the Tantalus and either target it directly and then the rest around me would do damage, or they'd ignore it, and then the Tantalus not only shoots really well because it's got basically strength lance disintegrators. Yep. It shoots twice if you kill something with it, doubling its output, and it does mortal wounds when it charges. Which and it's so big, I was charging 3 or 4 things.
Because you don't measure from the base for that thing, you measure from the hull, right?
Yeah, just like any Raider or Venom, you measure from the hull because it's a skimmer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So with that said, is there anything you would change about your list?
To be honest, I in retrospect, the list worked really well. I feel like trying to squeeze in more Coven units to have better board control.
Okay. So that's the only change you would make?
Yeah, you know.
No Eldar, no Inari, no nothing?
No,
just
no,
taking
straight
it
up. Like, you know, being able to use an Alliance of Agony every turn, being able to use a lot of the Coven stratagems, being able to use the Witch stratagems. Essentially, I'm taking the book itself and using the most out of every aspect of the book.
Mm-hmm. And then what about the matchups you got today?
So I played Imperial Guard first. You know, the gentleman that's holding the camera right behind you.
Which is, for those that watch the channel, watch the battle reports on the channel, it's Migueli.
Yeah, so he ran Blood Angels and Valhallans and Cadians. It was an Imperial Guard, like, horde army, lots of cultists, not cultists, I played cultists too. Lots of conscripts, Blood Angel Death Company, Sanguinary Guard. And this was a game of target priority, so I killed the mortar tanks, the mortar tanks.
The wyverns.
Wyverns.
The wyverns, there you go. The wyverns, they do some work, so they had to die.
Oh yeah, they're really good against
They
the
died
Fury.
quick, so that was like my target number one. And then second turn, I essentially drop zone denied most of the board while having most of my killing units in the middle. And that forced the Death Company and the Sanguinary Guard to deploy outside of threat range of my army, essentially. And then it was the Witches that did most of the work there, getting stuck in and holding all the infantry in place. And then it was just them rolling buckets of dice and a bunch of them dying.
Gelly sounds so upset.
Yeah, it was nuts. Well, Ray, when I won't say anything. It's your interview.
You can talk about it in a
good.
later video, man. It's fine.
Come back to the channel. You'll have a whole interview on his experience. It'll be great.
Yep. And then second matchup?
So my second matchup, I played a gentleman from Ottawa. He ran an Iron Hand Space Marine army with like 10 dreadnoughts in it.
Oh, I saw that. It was beautiful.
Lots of shooting, but I went first, and I was able to nuke basically 3 dreadnoughts on the first turn with the double shooting Tantalus and all the Ravagers. So I killed all the dreadnoughts that didn't have invulnerable saves, and I used my range, and essentially, like, then I got stuck in and just, I tabled him pretty quickly. And then round 2. So round 3, I played Chris Rice. He's one of, he plays on a Team Eternal Warriors, we play regularly, he's on our team. And he was playing 9 Carnifexes, Old One Eye, 3 Hive Tyrants, and Rippers. So,
yeah, I saw that on
yeah, so he would have had me if my Taluses didn't survive. So the Taluses just...
Oh, you just rolled really hot for him?
Yeah, the invulnerable saves on the Taluses with Prophets of Flesh is fantastic. So they held up, and then I was able to keep my Ravagers alive long enough to just murder his whole army. Oh, and the Tantalus as well, because it was still alive. Match 4 was one of my toughest matchups I had this weekend, playing against Chris Haynes, captain of the ETC team in Canada. He's been playing forever. He's a very, very good player. Had about 80 cultists, 30 Zangors, 4 Demon Princes, Armons, Shamans. So it's like Smite spam list.
Yeah, well, because 1,000 Suns, they don't suffer the -1.
No. Yeah. And it went really well, but I was able to clear his screen on turn 3. And I went from having like 14 command points to 2 command points, because that turn I spent everything to murder 4 Demon Princes and his Warlord, and it just changed the tone of the game. It just swung it completely, and I was able to run away with it. And then my fifth game, I played against Devin Swan. He's a top table player at every event that he goes to, famous for the Warlord on a Skyshield landing pad at Adepticon. Yep. But it was a great fun game.
Was him?
Yeah. He was playing an Ari. He ran 18 Shining Spears, 3 units of Guardians and Wave Serpents, and Cat Lady.
Oh yeah, we interviewed him already.
Yeah. So he won Best General, and it came down to 2 points at the end. I won by 2 points, but I seized on him, and my disintegrated cannons essentially neutered 1 unit of jet bikes, the Shining Spears. And I was able to deal with 1 unit of Shining Spears in my face instead of 2 jumping right up at me. Other than that, it was tight. I didn't get he got more battle points than I did, but it's great. It's my second GT and my first win, so I'm excited.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that you guys tied.
I know. You were in the running the whole time.
Oh, well, I was hoping so hard. I was like, please,
win loss,
please.
right? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Is there any shout outs or anything you want to give?
Shout out to everybody who plays with me at the Eternal Warriors Club in Barrie. Awesome. You know, make sure you stay tuned for more awesome Drukhari content, and check Scodcast out with the link down below.
Well, thank you again.
Thanks
Appreciate
a lot,
it.
mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good one, and
too.
happy wargaming.